Starting on a new page feels better every time. Flip as simple as waking up next to you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I'm Chini Ivy. You're most welcome. In this channel, we do everything personal development, lifestyle, and product reviews. So please subscribe to the channel if that is what you love. And if you're a returning subscriber, hi, hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. You guys, in today's video, we are going to be doing a continuation of the first video. So if you haven't watched that one, please just pause this one and scroll through the description box. You will see our playlist and you will find the first video. You already know, most times when people are telling you about how to boost your self-confidence or your self-esteem, they usually say things like you have to mind your posture, you have to talk like this, you have to walk in like this, and all of those things are cool, but those things are to help you look confident. But what happens when the dust has settled? When you go back home, how do you really feel about yourself? So these my videos will help you do the internal work on becoming a better version of yourself and having a better perspective of yourself. The first tip of this video will be to practice affirmation. I know it's very easy to tell somebody else, oh, you look beautiful, you look amazing, you're this, you're that, but people find it very cringy when it comes to the time to tell yourself the same things. And I don't know why. You can do all of this for somebody else, but when it gets to you, it's cringy. Why? The idea of practicing affirmation is to reverse self-hate. You know, all those moments when you tell yourself, oh my god, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, stuff like that. Affirmation is to reverse it so that you get to feed your mind and your brain with a positive thing. Now, the thing you don't understand is that the things we say to ourselves becomes the reality because our brain and our subconsciousness begins to internalize it as facts. So whatever you tell yourself, oh, I can't do this, I'm stupid, I'm an idiot, all of those things, with time you begin to believe that you cannot actually do certain things. So practicing affirmation would help your mind feed more on a positive thing, thereby your subconsciousness accepting these positive things as the facts. The next tip will be to always keep promises that you tell yourself. Any promise that you give to yourself, make sure you keep it. One thing with confidence, one thing with building self-esteem and building confidence is that you have the ability, or you tend to believe in your own abilities. So if you keep telling yourself things, oh, I'm going to read a book today, or I'm going to complete my online course, or I'm going to finish that degree, and you don't, your brain sees it as, oh, there is nothing stable I can latch on internally. So that way you become insecure because you cannot really trust yourself. Always keep promises that you make to yourself. If you tell yourself you're going to do something, do it. If you tell yourself you're going to show up for something, then do it. It will go a long way to build your confidence. Here is something you should consider if you want to build your self-esteem and your confidence. You do not need the approval of people. As long as you do something, it is with a good intention and you do not plan to hurt anyone in the process of it, then it's good enough. You don't need people's approval to be able to do something. Now let me take your mind back to little things that I think would explain this point to you. You know how you're on Instagram, you're a creator on Instagram, and you would like to post a picture or a video, and then you have to send it to your group chat to, so that they can analyze it if it's really Instagram worthy or not. So always asking people's input on certain things in your life would communicate to your subconsciousness that you cannot trust your own instincts, you cannot trust your own abilities, and thereby this will lead to insecurity. So when those people are there, or when they say any little thing bad, negative about whatever you want their approval for, you begin to beat yourself up, you begin to feel bad, you begin to feel so low, you feel that there is nothing else you can do. It is a very simple example that I know that most of us do. Me, I used to do it back in the days and I have stopped doing it. Although the idea for you might be, oh, you want to get another person's point of view on a particular thing. But here is the thing, if you have a vision, hmm, you are the only one who understands the vision. Other people may not understand it the way you will understand it. And here is the thing, people come from different backgrounds, different upbringings, so they will impute all of this into whatever vision that you're telling them, and would convince you of their own point of view. So make sure that you're not doing this as often, because it will keep making you understand that you cannot really trust your own self to make certain decisions, and that is bad. You will not be able to grow your self-esteem and become more confident that way. Next tip will be to accept your flaws and let go of unrealistic standards. Now in the society these days, we have a particular kind of body standard, beauty standard, and not everybody looks like that. Everybody is created differently, and that's why a lot of people will go through surgical means to look in a certain way, because it is the society's beauty standard. But most of these standards are very unrealistic. So accept the way you are, accept your flaws. What are your imperfections, what are your flaws? Accept it. And this is not to appreciate mediocrity, it is just for you to appreciate the way you are. Accept those flaws, that way you are able to move past it. When you wake up and realize you don't look in a certain way, you think you don't look good, which is false. Everybody looks good. Okay, the next point will be to practice self-love. Most of the times we are our own biggest critics. Okay, if you don't do well in certain things, you begin to beat yourself up, you begin to say crazy things about yourself, which should not be so. Learn how to practice self-love, learn how to love yourself no matter what. Now the thing is that people usually base their confidence on external things like, oh, I made all A's, or I made a good impression in that interview, stuff like that. So when they go through these external factors, they feel confident within themselves. But what happens the day they do not do as well? So that is where self-love comes in. Self-love will enable you to love yourself regardless of anything, regardless of whether you did well in the interview, whether you flopped the presentation, whether you didn't have all A's. Self-love will take you through. So practice self-love, and I think I'm going to have a separate video that will be talking about mostly what self-love is and everything about self-love. So you have to appreciate yourself, love yourself, because nobody else will love you as much as you should love yourself. Okay, so the next point will be to cut off people who trigger these negative emotions. Now the set of people who are in the position to trigger you the most are usually your friends and your family members. People who make it their thing to make you feel bad consistently about yourself. For most people, they grew up in an environment that tore down their self-esteem layer by layer. Every day you're being shouted on, talked down on. Every day you're being told bad, horrible things about yourself. There is no way you can build a good self-esteem there. The reason is because things you constantly hear about yourself or things you constantly say about yourself, your subconscious mind begins to see it as fact. It begins to be your reality. So you wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I'm not deserving of good things, all of those things, because you have been constantly told that. So if there are certain people in your life who are behaving like this, talk to them or cut them off. They are not good for your mental health, and they are not good for you improving and boosting your self-confidence. Now let's talk about friends that will say a joke but is laced with insult or laced with something that will put you down. They know it will put you down, but they just say it. When you confront them, they say, oh, it's just a joke. It is not a joke. Please try to cut those type of people off, because they are not even serving you in the first place. So there is no reason for you to be around people like that. The last and not the least would be to learn a skill or develop a skill. Now, learning a skill or developing a skill may not necessarily make you confident, but here is the thing: during the process of learning or developing this skill, you get to experience or learn how to be self disciplined. You learn self control. Stuff like that are things that your body, your mind, your subconsciousness needs to be able to truly trust your own abilities. Let's say you went to school to study accounting. Now there are times when you felt like, oh, I could drop off, or there are times you felt like, I can't do this anymore. But the fact that you still continued, there are other things that you want to venture into, but your subconscious mind might tell you, oh, you can't do this. But then you remember that there is an evidence that there are so many times you could have dropped off certain things, but you did not. You have built self-discipline, you have built self-control, and yourself will be able to trust your abilities, and in that way you increase your self-esteem and build self-confidence. Now this is the end of this video. I hope you really enjoyed it, because I enjoyed making it. Please subscribe, like, share this content to your family members, okay? And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.